my first 30 seconds into my experience in Pokemon ZA, and the first thing I see is clipping. That Starmie and that child keeps disappearing. This is the very first 10 seconds of the opening of the game. We're going off to a promising start right here, boys. We're going off to a promising start right here. Do you know what? I could really use a second Switch 2 dock. So if I would need to see this clipping on a different monitor, I can. Do you know what? Check this out. This is the Switch 2 dock for S3 Max. And this is a 4K 120Hz HDMI display or 8K 30Hz display as well. This dock can be used as your main Switch 2 dock station, or it can be used as an additional station you can put in a separate room so you don't have to unplug your entire setup. We have the mode switching button on here. We have a 4K HDMI slot, which is 2.1, HDMI 2.1. We have a power input of 100 watt max, so you can play and charge at the same time. And you have a USB 3.0 for your gaming needs, whether it be controllers or other devices. Or you can just play this as a just use it as a handheld, right? Just stick it in the dock and then play on a controller on handheld mode sort of thing without having to connect it to a TV. With that button switching mode, there is actually the choice. You don't automatically have to play on the TV. You can press the button in the back and boom, you go from handheld mode on the dock to TV mode at 4K 120 Hz. I did actually try this out myself. Stuck it in the dock, stuck it on my 4K monitor, or actually 4K TV, stuck it in 4K mode, and it outputs a 60 Hz on the Nintendo Switch 2. You can actually go up to 120 Hz as well. So, awesome, 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 right? The main thing about this is it's only about 27 bucks. Okay, so you don't have to go and buy Nintendo's expensive version when you can buy this version that does exactly the same thing. Obviously, I'm going to use this as my second setup. I'm going to use this in my second room, so I can unplug it in one room and plug it in the other room, and you instantly are straight away on the TV, and you are playing as you go. Thanks for the guys who sent over the Switch dock. If you want to get this dock, it'll be in the video description below. And right, let's get back to the video. Right, so the very first thing I noticed in the game is they are one of the biggest budget companies going, Game Freak, and the graphics are on par with something of the 3DS generation or the PlayStation 2, the PlayStation 3 generation. It is PNG central. What is going on with this? This is supposed to be the main area of the entire game. The game has one city that you explore and do everything in. This is just my first impressions of the game. I've only played about 2 hours of the game so far. I am going to be playing more of it. This is my captured footage, and honestly, to be fair, if you are a 10-year-old child, you're not going to care about the graphics. You're not. But Game Freak should know that most of their audience now are not just children. They grew up with Pokemon. I grew up with like Pokemon Red and Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Green, and going from that on the Game Boy, the original Game Boy, going over to this, to say I'm slightly disappointed. I just spent 50 odd bucks on this game, and they're already trying to get me to pay 30 bucks for a DLC on the main page of the Pokemon login. When you try to log into Pokemon, they hit you with a £30 DLC. I'm not for it, dude. I look at the ground. I'm playing this at 4K on my LG TV, 120 Hz TV. I'm playing it on here, and I'm seeing this guy with red eyebrows and red hair that looks like candy floss from something from 2005. I'm trying to be positive. I just spent 50 bucks on the game. I'm trying to take this as a fresh approach. Haven't played Pokemon in a very long time. I haven't played it since... God, it's been a while, dude. I think Silver and Gold. Pokemon Silver and Gold was the last time I really got into it. I think I played Pokemon Pikachu back on the Switch 1. But this is the first Pokemon on the Switch 2 for me. I didn't play Arceus or anything like that. I looked at it, but I thought it was okay, but I never really got into it. So, the game itself The good thing about the game is the Pokemon battles. The 3D third-person Pokemon battles are better, in my opinion. The turn-based stuff is really, really good, but they have really done well in terms of the third-person sort of actions, combat, button bashing style fighting, I suppose. Problem is, the game holds your hand for at least the first 2 or 3 hours, and it's off-putting, right? It's definitely off-putting. The Pokemon art style could be so much better. The animations on the characters themselves. I'm walking around the city. There isn't many people walking around this city. This is supposed to be your main area for the entire game. You're going around. It's kind of empty, dude. Right? This is kind of empty. There's really not that many people here. The pixels on the background and on the floor, the tiles on the floor and stuff like that, you can actually see the pixels, right? It's not a good look. Game Freak, I am disappointed in the fact that you didn't put a little bit more budget behind this. I think you put more budget in marketing than you did in the actual models themselves. And the fact that the 90% of this town is buildings, and there's so many windows, dude. Jesus Christ, there's so many windows. And they're all so badly done, right? Honestly, I'm still gonna play the rest of this game. I think the combat is really good, right? It is fun. It is, that is 90% of the game is the combat. But now we're walking through the district. You can see, look at these buildings, dude. Look at these buildings. These are everywhere. Like, these windows are everywhere. These buildings are everywhere. And the design is so poorly done. I don't understand why they haven't put a bit more. I don't know if it's upscaled or if they need to increase the res. They need to do something, dude. Like, this is everywhere in this game. And this game is a full price game, dude. I just came off Digimon. I'm still playing Digimon Time Story, right? Digimon Story Time Strangers. That game is absolutely superb, dude. It's the best Digimon ever. And the graphics on that are absolutely insane. For the turn-based combat and the Digimon, they've done a really, really good job. And then I come on to this game, which is more money than what I paid for Digimon. This is done by Game Freak, who have a bigger budget, way, way, way bigger budget than Digimon. And I'm comparing this to Digimon because I just came off that Digimon game. They came out a week apart from each other, right? And I've got Digimon Story or Digimon Cyber Sleuth, the both editions, on my Switch too. And that game looks better than this game. That game came out in 2019, dude. This is 2025. Like, what is going on? So I'm not going to try and criticize the game too much. It is my only first impressions, right? But the problem is, I really, really hope they have some sort of 4K texture pack we can install for free or something. Right, I'm running this at 4K and I can still see the graininess. And the character designs as well. Like, you don't have really much character design in your character. You have a few hair choices and you can change the colors. You don't get these fancy red and, marshmallow style hairstyles that guy's got there. But I'm choosing my Digimon now. I'm choosing my Pokemon now, sorry. And the pixels on the Digimon, you can see where they've shaded them differently. And it's off-putting, right? I'm looking at the Pokeballs on his belt. And if you look closely, they don't seem to be correctly lined up. And on the buildings as well, you go across the buildings, you can see where they've joined the two buildings together and they haven't done it in a straight line. And they're slightly above each other on the buildings. And it's just like, this shouldn't be done by like a top-notch multi-million dollar company. This is something that an intern could have done. You know what I mean? Yeah, well, I'm trying to keep a level head on this. I'm trying to make this a level-headed decision. coming off Digimon and going to this is like chalk and cheese, right? It's very different. The good thing about this game, though, the fighting combat in here, like when I was doing this tail whip and tackle, it felt good. It felt good. The problem is, if you do not time the attacks at different intervals, they both have a cooldown roughly the same sort of time. So you tackle and you tail whip, and they both recover at the same time. So you have to do like a tackle, wait 2 seconds, do tail whip, wait 2 seconds, and you have to like interchange them so they don't all come at the same time. Because you either spam, do like a burst damage, you do every single attack, and then have to wait like 6 seconds or something stupid to do all your attacks again. I don't think that's a very good design. They should have made it so you had to like give it a second or two between each attack, so you can always like constantly attack. Otherwise, you just sit there waiting for ages. And the problem I have in the combat is as well, you have to lock on to the enemy to do attacks. So if you're not locked on, if you've not held the, I think it's L2 button down on your controller on the Switch 2, it doesn't lock onto your opponent and you can't attack them. I think that's super, super weird. You can't just press a button and it automatically goes to lock on an attack. You have to lock onto yourself and do it. I understand the concept. There's multiple different Pokemon, right? I understand the concept of it. But the thing is, you always have to do that now. And it's like there's no other option. And Digimon done this really well, where you can actually have an auto battler sort of button, and you press it, it just kills the normal mobs. If you want to grind out yourself, it automatically kills them for you, and you just go around and automatically do it. This doesn't have that, and this makes you manually do everything individually. And if you want to grind out to try and get levels for your Pokemon, I can see this later on in the game, it's going to be so tedious and so annoying. And the character models themselves, walking around the character models in like the streets and stuff like that, they all got the same sort of pose, right? They all sort of stand in the same positions with the same pose. They're just like twisted round. It's like someone's just got the character models, plotted them about the city, and then just twisted them around slightly. There isn't many different character models. And the main gripe I have with this game is, this is 2025 and there's no voice acting for the entire game. No voice acting at all. And I'm sitting there reading in complete silence, like, really? Nothing? And I'm talking to the main characters of the game. There's no voice acting whatsoever, dude. The amount of budget they have in this game, they could at least try and get some voice acting. What the hell's going on? But I say the combat's solid. The combat is solid. It's fun. It is fun to do. Not a big fan of marshmallow hair over here with red eyebrows and marshmallow hair. Obviously, it's designed for kids, right? We all know Pokemon is now designed for kids, but they've sort of handheld you to the point where you get underwhelmed of it. It's like, do you not think 10-year-olds know how to play video games? Like, come on, dude. So yeah, this is just my first impressions. Honestly, there's probably a lot to do when you open the game up and stuff to do, but for a person who's just bought the game, and a person who's now gone and spent 2 or 3 hours just going into the intro of the game, the first 30 seconds I had popping from the right in front of my eyes as soon as I pressed start on new game. Okay, they should have been flushed out straight away. Did no one even test this game out? Like, come on. That's the first thing you should have done. You should at least try to play test the game before you sold it, right? You shouldn't have that pop in first 30 seconds. And the mouth movements are they're not on point, dude. They're sort of generic. They're not synced to the actual text themselves. And because there's no voice acting either, it just kind of seems off as well. But I will be playing through the entire game. I will be trying everything out. I will be going through and making guides on if there is this, that, and the other, which is good, which is not good. I normally play the game through first and then do guides afterwards, so I know what I'm actually talking about, rather than trying to do the guides as I go. But yeah, in terms of if you are on the fence about getting this game and you like Digimon, then it's a no-brainer to get Digimon. Okay, no-brainer. If you don't like Digimon and you're on the fence about getting this game, probably wait till there's a sale. If you're willing to wait till there's a sale, dude. Honestly, is this game worth? I paid $50 for it, and I got the physical copy in my local area. Do not buy it online because you're going to get ripped off. They want day one £30 DLC, which is absolutely horrendous. That makes this like 90, $100 or something ridiculous. And yeah, it's not worth that, dude. But it is fun. And if you do love Pokemon, you probably already bought the game anyway, and you're watching this and already played the game, so you know. But yeah, this is just my first impressions. I'll be doing more videos on Pokemon ZA, but for now, as a person who grew up with Pokemon since the Game Boy, the original Game Boy of Pokemon Red, Blue, and Green, this is a letdown in 2025, especially with the budget they got as well, dude. No, there's no excuse really. Anyway, if you like this video, make sure you hit that like and hit the subscribe button. If you want to get a Switch 2 dock, I've got my second Switch 2 dock that you saw in the early part of this video. It's only like 25, 26 bucks, and you think you can pay like an extra couple more bucks and get like a port as well if you want to plug hardwire it in the internet, a LAN port. If you want to hardwire in, pay a few more bucks and you get that as well. If you have obviously you have the original Nintendo dock, the Nintendo Switch 2 dock. This is a second dock. I'm going to have that in a second room, so I can unplug the Switch and just plug it into another room rather than having to, you know, switch it out. But anyway, if you like this video, hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.